Yeah.
Live from FedEx Forum, this is The Odds Couple on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app. Here's Rob Fisher and Lang Whitaker.
What's up, y'all? Welcome into
Single
The
online.
Odds Couple. It's a single online. It's the Monday show, which means it's the smaller show, the more subdued
Single
show,
online.
where we discuss things in a more civilized manner.
Still a single on.
Because anything else would be uncivilized. I'm Lang Whitaker. I'm here in the Built for Tough studio at Grind City Media, and Rob Fisher is with us, but he is in Los Angeles.
That's right.
coast
Santa
away.
Monica.
A full coast away. Got a nice leather couch.
Yeah,
And,
this is nice. I can
paintings.
sit back and
Sit back and think.
think, do the show. Yeah, lovely. A couple days off in Los Angeles, which is very
Like that.
exciting.
It's even better coming off a win like the Grizzlies got last night against the Trailblazers.
Yeah, nothing
was-
like a 45-point pounding.
That was the best part. Was like I had no interest in turning it off either. Like it was like we got up by like 30, and I'm like, oh, there's no way I'm switching over to Sunday Night Football. I want to see this.
Yeah,
I watched the whole thing because also
you
I
know,
knew
it
we were
was-
going to get like 9 minutes of Yuki down the stretch.
That's right. That's right. And it was crazy how the arena was going crazy for Yuki.
Yeah,
The Portland fans were going crazy for Yuki. So it was fun. It was fun throughout because they just never let up, started kicking their ass and never stopped.
I have a lot of thoughts about that Portland team, but that's for a different show. CJ
no
Hurt's
kidding.
also here with us. CJ,
Love a good pounding, and that's what the Grizzlies gave the Trailblazers last night. I'm a big supporter of it.
yeah. I actually yesterday, my son, we was kind of raining during the day yesterday, and we couldn't like go outside and do stuff. And my son was like, "Hey, Dad, can we play NCAA 25? Can
Here
we
we
play a
go.
game?" I was like, "Yeah, sure." He said, "I get to be Georgia," and I said, "All right." And I didn't want to like, you know, make it a blowout. So I said, "I'll pick somebody not as good." So I picked Vanderbilt,
There we go.
who's an 80 ranking in the game. Georgia's a 96. At halftime, it was 7-7. And then I was trying to run the triple option with Vandy, but Georgia just kept like all the defenders would just get through the line immediately and hit my guy. And so like on the pitch, the ball would go flying the wrong direction. It'd set up like 3rd and 30. I was trying to play ball control, and I couldn't play ball control with Vandy or Pavia. And then in the third quarter, my son just blew it open. And all of a sudden, I'm down 31-7. He's going for 2 after every touchdown.
Oh, what a.
And I was like, I was so mad, but I couldn't really do anything. So I was like, fine. So the next time he went for 2, I ran a field goal block on his team, and he threw a pass, got a 2-point conversion, which kind of defeated the purpose of it. And then I said, "Why are you going for 2?" And he said, "I'm trying to score as many points as possible. Isn't that the point of this game?" And I was like, "Yeah, but it's like bad sport." Finally, in the fourth quarter, I'm down like 40-7 or something, and I said, "All right." Like he scored again. I was like, "All right, we're good." And I hit pause, stopped it, turned the game off, and he was furious. Got up, stormed out of the room, and I was like, "All right, I'll just play a game of Fortnite." He went downstairs. I heard him complaining to his mom, my wife, and then I switched over to Fortnite, played one game, and got eliminated. Turned the thing off. Went downstairs, and he goes, "Are you playing? I thought you were going to play a game of Fortnite. Or did you quit that too when you were losing?"
Oh my goodness.
Oh,
what type of
no.
child are you raising, Lang?
Vengeful.
Mamba mentality. Same beast, stand a different
I know.
animal. Shout out Beck. Let's go.
And I was like, "Well,
Run up the score on my dad. Let's do it.
I said, "How about this? How about we play again sometime? Not today, but I will not be a team that is awful." Because Vanderbilt has, like in that game, in real life, they've been good. In the game, they have no offensive line, no defensive line. Georgia, and in real life, Georgia hasn't been as good as they are in the game.
Okay.
In the game, Georgia he was just blitzing like, all 8 guys right through the Vanderbilt offensive line. I couldn't do anything. I couldn't run it. I couldn't pass it. I was trying to do screen passes.
Yeah.
Couldn't even set up a screen pass. Like all the defensive guys would burst through right away. It was brutal. So I don't know, that was my experience yesterday trying to have some father-son bonding time.
God, what a way to bond with the kid, man. Getting blown out on the video game.
And getting some lip too
And
at the
some
same
lip.
time. What are you gonna do? I did watch the Georgia game Saturday, Georgia Ole Miss, and on this show we try to kind of recap the weekend. On the Monday show, The Odds Couple. Thursday we're going to look forward to the next week. On our Monday show, we look back a little bit, and on Saturday was the Georgia Ole Miss game, and Guys, I told you guys earlier, I got a new car on Saturday, and I had to be at the dealership at 4 o'clock. They told me, be here at 4 o'clock to pick up the car. The Georgia game started at 2:30. It was about a half-hour drive from my house. So after like the first quarter, halfway through the second, Georgia's already losing. Started off 7-0, and then it's 10-0, 13-7. I'm like, all right, I can kind of see where this is heading. And I missed the rest of the game. And I don't regret it at all because Ole Miss kicked Georgia's butt from what I
What does that
tell.
mean from a CFP standpoint, Rob? Like, where would you put? How would you do Georgia and Ole Miss?
Well, I think it makes it very complicated. is what it does. I still believe that there will be at least four teams from the SEC that will make it, and I would imagine both of those are in right now. That was huge for Ole Miss to keep them alive, and I don't think it was dreadful for Georgia. It's crazy because in years past, you lose games like this and you would say, well, that does it, and you're out. And now it's like, okay, well, can you still find that path to get in? And I think both of these teams certainly can. I was impressed with Ole Miss. I bet Georgia. We talked about it on Thursday. I think if you don't bet Georgia in that spot, and Georgia, comes out and plays a Georgia game, then you feel like a fool and you feel like you just made a stupid bet. So I bet Georgia and live with the consequences, and Ole Miss comes out and just played really well. And Jackson Dart was really good, even hurt. He was really good. And I don't know, Lang, what's...
Well, were you more impressed with Ole Miss or disappointed by Georgia?
I don't think disappointed by Georgia because we've seen it. From Georgia. It wasn't really shocking. I guess I went into the game thinking Georgia would just turn it on. And, and Kirby would give them one of those talks about nobody believing in us.
Yeah.
And they'd just go out and they'd get the job done. And so I was more impressed with Ole Miss because these are spots where Ole Miss hasn't, and Lane Kiffin hasn't really converted in the past. So for them to get that win, I thought was huge. And I thought it was a real statement for them. Not so much for Georgia, just because it's tough to look at their season and say it's been disappointing, but it's been rocky.
Yeah. It's been disappointing, I think. But I told you guys at the start of the year, like, I didn't think Georgia was going to make it through the season without at least 2 losses. Because looking at that schedule,
Clemson, Alabama,
at Texas, at Alabama, at Ole Miss. We still got Tennessee next week at home. Florida, I thought that was going to be tough. It wasn't. It turned out to be closer than it should have been. But I didn't think there was any way Georgia was going to make it through the season without at least a couple losses. And so I'm disappointed, but I still thought Georgia was better. And, like, the way they played against Texas, they looked so good. And Ole Miss scored a lot early on, and then Georgia kind of kept them in check the rest of the way. Like, I think if you're giving up 25 to Ole Miss, you feel like you should win that game.
But that Ole Miss defense has been good this year, and it's not just we are late enough into the season for the out of conference slate to not really matter as much. And even if you get rid of the Ole Miss out of conference slate, which was a joke of a schedule out of conference, you just go in conference. What they've done, like, they're the best team in conference play in the SEC. So to your point, Lane, you would say, hey, you hold Ole Miss to whatever it is, 25, 28 points.
28-10.
You're in a good spot if you hold them to 28. And you're not in a good spot this year holding Ole Miss to 28 because that defense is really, really stingy. Even in the loss of Kentucky, they only allowed 20 points, and some of that was short field
and
work
also
for
Kentucky
Wildcats.
just can't score.
Yeah.
But, I would say Georgia, like, I think it really, you saw the holes on the skill positions, like on wide receiver. Georgia leads the nation in drop passes. They don't have a game breaker, like, on anywhere on offense, not just Carson Beck. They don't have the Brock Bowers at tight end. They don't have a wide receiver who can make plays like that. They don't have a running back who can do anything either. Like, they've invested heavily, from what I was reading. Like, their NIL thing has gone real heavily into the lines, offensive line, defensive line. Even the linebackers aren't as great as they've been in past years. And the secondary has been struggling this year too. So, like, there is a lot of holes in this Georgia team, and I don't know if it's something you can patch up and go to the playoffs and make a run.
Let's say there are 4 SEC teams that make it to the playoff. Here are your top 6. Tennessee, as of today, they'd be in.
Yeah.
I think clearly. Number 2 is A&M.
Yep.
I guess as of today they're in, right?
No,
They're 5-1
No.
in the SEC.
they're not
They're not? Okay. Texas is 3rd
in.
clearly. So you got Tennessee and Texas clearly in. Then you have Georgia, Ole Miss, and Alabama.
So
If you could take 2, which 2 you take?
the committee always talks about head to head, and that matters the most to the committee, right?
Yeah.
Ole Miss and Alabama both beat Georgia. So you would say, all right, those 2 teams, I would guess, outrank Georgia by that logic. At the same time, Ole Miss lost to Kentucky. I don't know. Like Alabama lost to Vanderbilt. I don't know how you it gets kind of murky after that. I guess if it's like there's still a couple games left, like what if Georgia beats Tennessee this week?
Then Georgia's in.
Right.
I don't know.
And then what about Tennessee?
Yeah, Tennessee would have 2 losses to Georgia and who's the other one? Vandy?
No, they hadn't played Vanderbilt yet. They'll play
They play
them
the end of the year.
last game of the year.
Who else did Tennessee
Who
lose
has
to?
Tennessee? Arkansas.
Arkansas,
Yeah, so Georgia would be in with the win over Tennessee.
I would guess.
The
I don't know.
That would, the way I would do it, Georgia would be in.
Yeah.
Because it is a combination. We will fixate on one or the other, but it is a combination of, hey, who did you beat? Who did you lose to? And you can say, all right, Georgia, Tennessee, we're looking at just you two. Georgia beat Tennessee, so that's what matters. Also, if we just go through the losses, that Arkansas loss is a bad loss. That Kentucky loss for Ole Miss is a bad loss. Now, what's saving Ole Miss right now is the win over Georgia.
Yeah.
Even that LSU loss over the couple of weeks ago that Ole Miss had. Well, over the weekend, LSU, same spot, nighttime, Death Valley, ends up getting like waxed by Alabama.
Yeah.
So that loss looks a bit different in today's lighting. What's saving Ole Miss and why Ole Miss has a shot of being in is because they beat Georgia this weekend, which is really, really fun.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, who does Ole Miss have left? I was actually. I know they got Miss State, which they should win, but they've got here we go, Florida and Mississippi State. That's it.
Yeah.
So they win out. You assume they'll be sitting there at 10-2, a win over Georgia, a win over South Carolina, a win over Arkansas, a win over Oklahoma.
I think
it's
it'll
the win
be
over Georgia. If it's down to Ole Miss or Georgia, Ole Miss will be in because of the win over Georgia.
Yeah.
Well,
Now,
it's
if
going
it's
to come
down-
down to I mean, if things go according to plan, I guess, if let's say Georgia beats Tennessee this week, and then Texas or Texas A&M, whoever's going to win that game, will have 2 losses as well.
Yeah.
You know, the winner of that game would have just 1 loss. Let's say it's Texas and they have 1 loss. Then you're going to have like 6 or 7 teams that have 2 losses.
How about
So,
this? What
The tiebreaker is going to come into play, and you can't just do head-to-head when you have that many teams, and it goes around in a circle. So,
Wait, what are we doing here? Are we talking about SEC championship game? Or are we talking about CFP? Okay,
SEC championship.
I'm only talking about the CFP.
I was too. But how about this? If Georgia,
But SEC championship, if you're a Texas A&M, SEC championship could be a path
Yeah.
to the college football.
But if
playoff.
so let's say you're Georgia, you beat Tennessee, Texas loses to Texas A&M, and then Texas A&M and Georgia are the 2 teams at the top of the SEC. They go to the championship game, and Georgia loses. So then Georgia's got 3 losses,
right,
but Ole Miss and Alabama would each have 2 losses. They both beat Georgia, but they didn't make the championship game. So how do you?
oh yeah,
Did they beat Georgia? Then that's how it has to go. I don't
But they
think.
finished behind them in the standings.
Yeah, well, they played on the football
I don't
field
know.
and won.
It's
Like the
it's all-
standings can't
it's-
matter like
It's going to
that.
get confusing at some point in all this. I mean,
oh, it's going to
already
get
is.
real confusing. I mean,
Yeah.
doing away with the divisions, I think, has made it very confusing.
Yeah.
Would it be better? I think the answer is yes, but would it
12-team
be-
playoff,
quarterfinal for conferences.
Final Four.
Yeah, a quarterfinal for conferences. That way, you end up looking at the tiebreaker and you say, okay, we've got 4 teams out of 6 in instead of only 2 out of the 6. Because I think that's where we're going. Where we're going to have a quarterfinal, or not a quarterfinal, a semifinal, and then a final.
There's going to
Yeah.
eventually we're
I
going
mean,
to
because if you get to the controversy in the SEC where Texas A&M's playing in the conference championship game,
Yep.
and they're like maybe the 4th or 5th highest ranked team out of the SEC, that's I mean, it's good for Texas A&M to get that opportunity to possibly make the college football playoff, but it's bad for those other teams because of tiebreakers that would be within the SEC.
But
I mean, to me, the tiebreakers should basically be, we're going to rank the teams that are tied according to the football ranking, the playoff ranking, because that's how you would, increase your odds of number of teams or how high you could be seated and things like that.
I don't think Texas A&M would be that low in the SEC, low in the rankings in the SEC championship game, because that would mean that they won out, and that would have them with a win over Texas.
I think they should play it out on NCAA 25.
Oh, that would be fun.
Too.
That would be good stuff.
Nobody gets hurt. Play it out. We can all do it in about 4 hours, have it all settled, and then we move forward.
I like it.
All right, let's take a break. We
Make Beck play. That's what I want. Yeah, let Beck get out there on them
better
sticks.
than Carson Beck. All right, we'll take a break. We're going to come back. We've only talked about one game. We'll talk about all the other games that happened this weekend. There's a lot of great games this weekend and consequential things that happened. A lot of NFL. We got Nuggets. We got America's favorite game show, Who Said It, which will be coming up soon. And we got picks and other stuff too. So you're watching The Odds Couple here on Grind City Media.
At Southland Casino Hotel, it's time to work hard, play hard with our $500,000 giveaway. Earn entries October through November 9th and take home free play and amazing prizes on select Saturdays, including a big rig. Stay connected on social media for weekly drawing clues. Join us November 9th for the grand finale drawing, where you could drive off in a four-wheeler, side-by-side, or big rig. Work hard and play harder at Southland Casino Hotel. Must be 21 plus. Play responsibly. For help quitting, call 800-522-4700.
There's no substitute for experience, the knowledge gained from having been there before, and the passion to share what you know to make everyone around you better. It's true in basketball. It's true in banking. Grizzlies Checking from Pinnacle. Play hard. Bank easy. Open a Grizzlies checking account with at least $100 and a recurring direct deposit by August 31st, and you could receive a $200 direct deposit bonus into your account. Details at grizzliesbanking.com. Member FDIC.
Let's face it, there's a lot of trash talk in basketball, but the great teams let their performance do the talking. Like Ford F-150 with Pro Power on board, a class-exclusive industry-first feature that turns your truck into a mobile generator and leaves the competition speechless. Ford F-150, official truck of the Grizzlies. Greatness starts here at your Mid-South Ford dealer. Class is full-size pickups under 8,500 pounds, GVWR.
Grizzlies fans know it's the team that gives you the edge. Big River Steel does too. And much like the Grizzlies have recruited legendary talent, we want you to be part of our team. Are you ready to be part of something legendary? Then visit www.bigriversteel.com. That's www.bigriversteel.com.
Welcome back to The Odds Couple on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app. Here's Rob Fisher and Lang Whitaker.
Welcome back to The Odds Couple here on Grind City Media. It's a Monday show. It's more intimate, more thoughtful, more cerebral, some might say. I'm live from the Built for Tough studio here right at FedEx Forum. CJ Hertz with me here in studio. Rob Fisher's with us in his West Coast studio on the shores of the Pacific Ocean.
That's right outside the window. I can hear the ocean from my my room.
I think that's traffic.
it might be.
That's the 405.
I'm right next to some place that's called the Ocean Lodge.
Ooh.
That's not where we're staying, but there's a place called the Ocean
Lodge. I don't know, but that could be any number of different establishments. We talked a lot about that Georgia Ole Miss game. We didn't get to the big beats from the weekend, Fish. You have three big beats you want to talk us through?
Yeah, we got a few big beats. The first one is the game that we've just been talking about for that whole first segment.
Yeah.
Hotty toddy for the Rebels and their victory. The highest ranked win in school history for the Rebels. How about that?
That's surprising.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, they won a national title that one year. They must have beat somebody good.
In the 60s?
No, like when T. Martin, like, in the
Wait,
90s.
who are we talking about? Tennessee or Ole Miss?
Oh,
No, we're talking Ole Miss.
Ole Miss, my bad. I was thinking about Tennessee.
Yeah.
Archie Manning won. But I mean, I'm sure they had to beat Alabama or somebody back then, right? When Bear Bryant was the coach. Like, I would assume they had to, or Texas A&M, somebody good back in the 60s, 70s.
Let's see who that 60s team beat. I'll look that up. Go ahead, Rob.
Okay, you look that up. All right, number 2, we had a Big 8 shootout going on this weekend. Oklahoma and Mizzou, former opponents in the Big 8 conference way back in the day. They had 19 points were scored at the end of the third quarter. 19 total points scored at the end of the third quarter. The total was 42.5. They scored 34 points in the fourth quarter to blow by the over-under and
wild.
get up to 53 points with 34 of them being scored in the fourth quarter. If you had the under, boy, that was sure disappointing. And Mizzou was a 13-point dog this week against South Carolina. 13.
I know. I don't. And your favorite coach, Eli Drinkwitz, has been talking a lot about to keep us in the playoff picture.
Yeah.
We belong in there. We're not out yet. All this stuff. So
They need a lot of help.
yes,
They need like all of those 2-loss SEC teams to lose for them to have a chance because they're probably the lowest ranked of the 2-loss teams in the SEC. All right, number 3 on our big beats, the Chiefs unscathed. How about the Chiefs and the way that they won yesterday? It's just what Chiefs do. Chiefs football, they just make plays. Whether it's their quarterback or their special teams making the play. The Chiefs are now 9-0. They've won 11 regular season games in a row since week 17 of 2023. And in that span, winning 11 in a row, they've outscored their opponents by 67 points. That's it. Winning 11 in a row and only outscore your opponents by 67. The next lowest scoring margin by a team that won 11 straight games in a row was plus 85 by the 2003 Patriots. So, the Chiefs just getting by, but remaining the only undefeated team in the National Football League.
the cheats.
Go Chiefs.
Do you guys
My
watch?
Chiefs.
Do you guys watch the Alabama LSU game? Because they.
No, I was traveling. I did not get to
That's
see
the one I was hoping was going to be kind of competitive and stuff. And after about halfway through the first quarter, it was just over. It was done. And you're like, all right, well, maybe Alabama's. I don't know if Alabama's for real or not. I don't know. But they sure dismissed LSU pretty easily in that game.
All right, I got the Ole Miss national championship seasons pulled up. They got in 62, they got a win over number 4 at the time, LSU, and number 6 at the time, Arkansas. In 1960, they got wins over number 14, Arkansas, and number 14, Tennessee. And then in 1959, there is the win over number 10, Arkansas, number 9, Tennessee, and number 3, LSU. So I guess, yeah, that makes sense.
Didn't they beat Alabama when Bama was ranked 1?
I guess not.
I don't think so.
Because
Is my nugget flawed?
That'd be
They might have.
no. That would be a higher. You said Georgia was the highest ranked team they ever beat, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Georgia was 3, so they couldn't have beat somebody 2 or 1. But I thought they must have, but I guess not.
I thought they did. When
Yeah,
they beat Alabama. The Katy Perry day.
Oh,
Yeah, I feel like Alabama. Wait, no, because I think 1 and 2 was Mississippi and Mississippi State. I think that's why it was such a big deal, wasn't it? They were both 1-2. I'll look that up also, Rob. You got some more bad beats?
No, that's it.
He's
That's
got CJ's over here Googling Katy Perry now.
I am. Oh, goodness.
Guest picker that game. I'm looking at it too.
Guess
I don't
who?
know. 2014. She leaves the set of game day.
Alabama was number 3 that year.
All right.
Okay.
Ole Miss was 11.
Which of these teams do we think doesn't belong in the top 10 of the playoff hunt? I mean, the bottom 4, well, if it's 12-team playoff, right now, Miami's in 12, Georgia's 11. And then 10, Ole Miss, 9, Alabama, 8, Notre Dame, 7, BYU, 6, Tennessee, 5, Indiana, 4, Penn State, 3, Texas, 2, Ohio State, 1, Oregon.
I think that's everybody. That's everybody who's supposed to be there. BYU,
Right?
BYU's not good, but
BYU's not good.
They're Big 12
BYU's
champs.
good? What do you
No.
mean BYU's not good?
I watched that game the other night, the Utah game, and like they should have lost that game. Their clock management was just terrible the whole game.
Oh, that's one of the biggest rivalries in the game. Throw the records out.
I mean, they should have lost the game. They ended up getting a fortuitous call down the stretch too. That it could go either way. But that was a weird game. I thought. I don't know. I mean, they scored 22 against Utah. I was like, okay, I guess we're good.
I mean, how about Notre Dame? Notre Dame, their loss looks worse and worse.
Yeah, I mean, they did beat Texas A&M, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah, at Texas A&M also on the road.
Yeah.
That wasn't a neutral site. That wasn't a home game. That was on the road.
They beat Louisville.
Yeah, no, they've certainly made up for it, and but that loss just still looks bad.
Yeah,
I mean,
but they beat Louisville. They beat Georgia Tech, which looks better now.
Navy.
They beat Navy. They blew out Navy, and they blew out
Yeah.
Florida State, which doesn't matter. They blew out Stanford. They blew out Purdue. Like, they've beaten teams bad, some of these teams. And they still got Virginia, Army, USC left. Maybe Army catches up to them. I don't know. But I don't know. I feel like they're probably the team that's the least tested out of those top 10. I don't know. Except for maybe Boise State. SMU, they're 13-14. Just by virtue of their schedules, haven't played as tough a schedule as everyone else.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Fish, you have any nuggets for us?
Nuggets.
I do, man. You want some nuggets?
I do. I have one for you, too.
Oh, okay.
Nuggets.
Well, I'll get through mine, and then you can throw one
you
in.
go first.
Okay. In the last 7 night meetings at LSU, Alabama is 6-1 against the Tigers. How about that? 6-1 in the last 7 night meetings. But since 2000, LSU is 110-16 in night games, and Alabama is 6-1. So there's a lot of those losses. Georgia Bulldogs, Lang, what is going on? Georgia is 3-9 against the spread in their last 12 games, including 1-7 against the spread against SEC teams.
That's why I didn't pick it. I told you guys
I
don't
wish
pick
you would have
it.
told
Stay
me
away.
that before I
did.
picked it. You
said,
didn't
stay
tell
away.
me. I
Don't
wasn't
pick
there
it.
Thursday. I sent the picks in. You could have texted me and told me that, Lane.
Told y'all.
Meanwhile, Tennessee, they knocked off Mississippi State over the weekend, and they have beaten Mississippi State now in 8 of the last 9 meetings, and they've won those games by 35 points per game.
But they lost one.
They did lose one,
Yeah. All right.
Memphis, meanwhile,
Oh, here we go. Go Tigers, go.
6-17 against the spread in their last 23 as a home favorite.
Again, stay away. Do not bet Memphis.
That's not good. And then Boise State's Ashton Genty, his 23 rushing touchdowns this season are the most by an FBS player through 9 games since Ricky Williams for Texas in 1998,
Oh,
who had
goodness.
25.
A long time.
That's a long time. Think about all the great backs that came through post Ricky Williams.
Yeah.
It's almost 3 touchdowns a game, though. That's a lot of touchdowns.
McGahee, Bush.
Yeah.
Like, we've had some stellar running backs come through.
No Sean Marino.
Don't know Sean. You don't know shit, dog. Like, what are we talking
Nick
about?
Chubb. Sony Michel. I'll give you a few
So
names.
many of them.
I got a nugget here, Fish.
Yep.
Every single turnover Oklahoma has recovered in SEC play has been reciprocated by either a turnover by the offense, Oklahoma offense, or a missed field goal within 2 minutes and 3 seconds of game time.
No way. That can't be true. Are you serious?
There's one exception, and it was when they got the pick 6 on TV earlier this year at the end of the game, like to win it, to seal it. But yeah.
That was Auburn, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Kip, the Kip 6, they call it. Kip Lewis had
Okay.
it. But every single turnover has had either a turnover or a missed field goal back within 2 minutes of game time.
Wow. That's
It's
incredible.
wild. Yeah. Way to hold the ball. Way to use the clock.
They're awful.
They are terrible. I've seen a lot of fire.
Mizzou without Brady Cook's not very good, and they took care of Oklahoma.
Yeah. All right, let's take a break, and then we're going to come back and we're going to play some Who Said It. We're going to have some fun.
Yeah.
America's Hottest Game Show is waiting. I got a banner. Some might say a crappy edition of Who Said It. We'll be back in a minute here on The Odds Couple on Grind City Media.
Who do you see ending up in the SWAC championship game? So give me your East and your West based on what you see right now.
If I had to say from what I've seen this year so far, I think you're probably going to get a Southern Jackson SWAC championship.
Get all of your HBCU sports and culture news by tuning in to HBCU Huddle.
with CJ Hurt and Mike Wallace. New episodes drop every Thursday on grindcitymedia.com, YouTube, and Spotify.
Can't wait. It's time to get it popping.
It's going to be crazy. The fans are going to be loud. We need just energy.
We're going to need, the Forum rocking. We're going to need, everybody in Memphis to be out there to come to support.
When the fans are good, we're good. Simple as that.
A Bane 3. Yes, sir. Desmond Bane with ice water in his veins.
We'll ride the energy together.
Justin Timberlake. I'm bringing sexy back. The Forget Tomorrow World Tour. Live in Memphis. Justin Timberlake. FedEx Forum, Saturday, November 23rd. Get tickets now at LiveNation.com. The brand new single Selfish is available to stream and download now. For more, hit up JustinTimberlake.com.
Grizzlies fans, dunks, dimes, and no-looks are great on TV, but nothing compares to catching them IRL. And that starts with buying tickets at Ticketmaster, the official ticket marketplace of the Memphis Grizzlies and the NBA. Ticketmaster gets you to the game so you can catch every highlight in person. From seeing your favorite Grizzly stars up close to hearing the squeak of the sneakers on the hardwood. Put that jersey collection to use and get tickets at Ticketmaster. There's no better brag than saying you saw it live. See you courtside, Memphis.
You hear the music, you know that means it's time for America's Hottest Game Show. Who Said It? Where we go through press conference clips of college and NFL and other coaches and try to figure out who said what. Try to get through the coach speak and get to the heart of the matter. Got 6 for you guys this week, all right? Here we go.
All right, let's go.
Let's get to it. Clip 1. That's the mark of a really good team, which we are. The people who do the rankings don't think we're worth a crap, and that's fine. Keep crapping on us. That's the way we like it. Don't rank us this week. We're good where we are. We just like to lay low and work really hard and come out and have fun on Saturdays as well. Who said it?
Shane Beamer.
What's Georgia Tech's head coach's name?
Brent Key.
Yeah, him. I'm going to go Georgia Tech.
I get him confused with the last coach. Jeff Collins was the last one. Yeah. Brent Key is this guy.
Rob, I think that's a good guess. It's probably Beamer, but I'm going to go Georgia Tech's coach.
Okay. A lot of crap in this one. Let's see who it is.
That's the mark of a
Rob.
Yeah.
There you go.
The people that do the rankings don't think we're worth a crap, and that's fine. Keep crapping on us. That's the way we like it as well. Don't rank us this week. We're good where we are.
Wasn't the name Odell Beckham?
Just lay low
hey.
and work really, really hard and come out and have fun on Saturdays as well. I promised Sir Big Spur I would do this.
He also does a shout out to he gives a long shout out to Sir Big Spur, which is I guess the live Gamecock that wasn't allowed to travel to the game because they were at Missouri, right? Missouri's not allowed to have live animals in the stadium, and he pointed out that LSU was allowed to have a live animal. They should have been allowed to bring Sir Big Spur to their game, so he gave him a shout out after the game.
All right.
All right, here we go. Clip 2. I'm a pretty open guy, so this is how my day started. I get to the stadium, go to the head coach's locker room. Here I am early in the morning. This is how my day started. I clogged the toilet. And I'm like, this is going to be a crappy day. Pun intended.
I saw this, and I can't remember who said it. Oh, my gosh. Rob, you got a guess?
I'm going to guess Mike Gundy.
Does sound like a Mike Gundy thing.
It feels like something he might do.
He might clog the toilet?
Yeah. He seems like a toilet
Charlie
clogger.
Weiss. Let's go.
His son's the offensive coordinator somewhere. I saw this weekend. Yeah, his son was calling plays for somebody this weekend.
Shout out to nepotism.
No, we can roll the clip.
I'm a pretty open guy. So
Darren Rizzi.
I get down here to the stadium. I get down here to the Superdome. I go in the head coach's
They were
locker
actually
room,
inadvertently blessed by the Pope.
Yes,
so here I am
several
early in the
times.
morning. I go to the bathroom, and this is how my day started. I
I don't know if that's a blessing.
I mean, they won.
And I'm like, this is going to be a crappy day, pun intended. And so we listen. I'm like, okay.
Good for you, Coach.
He's pretty open
Darren
about that.
Rizzi, and who's he? He's the head coach of the Saints.
Yeah, he used to be the special teams coach, which maybe it feels like something a special teams coach would talk about.
Yeah.
All right, we're through.
They got their third win of the year.
Yeah,
right. This
against
weekend.
the Falcons. Yeah. All right, those are two crappy ones. All right, clip 3, press conference. Question, Coach, from your perspective, what do you feel like is not working with your offense? The coach says, that's a great question. That's it.
I'm going Sharon Moore.
That feels like Sharon Moore.
I'm going Michigan's head football coach because that offense is abysmal.
Good one. I'd like to say Ryan Silverfield, but I'm not gonna say him.
I think Ryan Silverfield would be a good guess also, Rob.
Yeah, I'll stick with Silverfield. I'll go Silverfield.
Okay.
Let's roll it.
From your perspective, what do you feel like is not working with the offense?
Good shot of the room.
Yeah.
Great question.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow.
So the follow up to this is that he hired, like that same day or a day later, they announced Dana Holgorsen has been hired as a consultant for the offense. And then today they announced Dana Holgorsen's the new offensive coordinator at Nebraska.
Yeah.
So happened quickly. Things move quick there.
Sounds like he figured out what's not working for the offense.
Shout out, Matt Rule. All right, clip 4. This game was absolutely stolen from us. We were excited about being in this conference, but tonight I am not. We won the game. Someone else stole it from us. Very disappointed. I will talk to the commissioner. This is not fair.
Oh.
Who you got, Rob?
Oh, man.
I think CJ knows it.
I know it.
I can tell from the body language.
I got it.
Go for it, CJ.
It's Utah's athletic director.
Oh,
which is so
yeah.
weird. We don't get athletic directors sitting down at the podium post game, but he made a point to sit down after that game and let everybody know, hey, I don't like these officials.
He's pretty
at
pissed
all.
off. Roll the clip. Mark Harlan.
This game was absolutely stolen from us. We were excited about being in the Big 12, but
we were excited about being in the Big 12. Take your ass out of it
we
then.
won this game. Someone else stole it from us. Very disappointed. I will talk to the commissioner. This was not fair to our team. I'm disgusted by the professionalism of the officiating crew tonight.
So if you watch
Thank you.
If you watch the play, he's like the play they're all pissed about on fourth down. BYU had the ball on fourth down near their own goal. They're losing, and they get called for a defensive holding penalty away from the play, like up at the top of the screen. I mean, I watch it. I don't really care who wins the game. It looked like holding to me. I mean, you don't have to call it because it's not really part of the play, but I don't understand just the sheer anger about it. We do have.
I don't understand the regret of being in the conference.
I don't either. He was upset about it. He did not like that he wanted to be in the conference and then he didn't all of a sudden.
Yeah.
We do have a follow up to this. We lost a graphic. I don't know if we can get to it. We had a follow-up from Mark Harlan. Last night, following our game against BYU, I made my feelings related to the game clear. He said that basically he apologized for. He said, "I recognize there are more appropriate times and avenues to express those concerns. I accept the consequences." Blah 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 blah.
$40,000 fine. They hit my man with.
Yeah, you got fined.
Good stuff.
Ouch.
All right, we got 2 more to go. You ready?
Yep.
All right, clip 5. Here's a press conference post-game. What was supposed to happen on that final interception? Coach, I'm not going to go through the details of the play because you guys wouldn't figure it out. But we'll look at the tape tomorrow and we'll make those corrections.
Oh,
wow.
Just throws all the media under the bus.
Yeah.
Is that Dougie P? Is that Peterson, Jacksonville Jaguars?
What do you think, Rob?
I'm trying to think of somebody who had the game in on an interception. I'm going to go Doug Peterson.
I don't know. Doug Peterson's a good guess. I'm trying to think of who finished the game on an interception too, and I can't think of anybody. Go ahead and roll it. I want to know.
All right, roll it.
Yes.
Let's
go. We're getting it in, baby.
Mac interception. If he didn't get hit and throw the pick. Yeah, I'm not going to go through the details of the play because you guys wouldn't figure it out. But we'll look at the tape tomorrow and we'll make those corrections.
That's very Belichickian, isn't it? Like the way he said it,
kidding.
like just kind of like dismissive and like, yeah, you guys wouldn't figure it out.
You guys are
Well,
stupid.
explain it in simple terms then.
You guys
Doug.
are too stupid to understand the plays my 2-7 team are running on the field.
You guys wouldn't figure it out.
Get out of here, Doug. What are you doing?
All right, last
What's
one.
happening here?
Last one, clip 6. This place has had tremendous success the last 18 and a half years or 19. I can't do the math real good. So unfortunately in life, most people are weak. And as soon as they start to not go as good as they thought, they fall apart and they panic. Then they want to point the finger and blame other people. In most cases, the people who are negative and voicing their opinions are the same ones who can't pay their own bills. They're not taking care of themselves. They're not taking care of their own family. Who said it? This is actually that's like an excerpt of a much longer thing on the same topic.
What a jackass type of thing to say.
No kidding.
Who's been good 19 years, though? Alabama.
Yeah.
It's only Alabama.
That's who I was thinking, but that doesn't seem like DeBoer.
Yeah, shout out to Jalen. The last 18 and a half.
Or 19.
How good it has... Ohio State's been good that long. Day has been good that long. Ohio State has. I'm thinking about it here. This seems like some petulant child like Ryan Day would say, but I'm still trying to think about it. Rob, do you got a guess?
It's
not a pro team, right, Rob?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Because no pro team's been good for 18 and a half years.
Right.
I'm glad I stumped you guys with this. This is a great one. It's just such a funny quote. Like for somebody to say this, you're just like, come on, dude. Like,
Could this be your boy Gundy? I mean, things have been okay at Oklahoma State. They've been way better than before Gundy got there at Oklahoma State.
Yeah, I don't know why someone would be so upset.
Ferentz, I always had some good times the last 18 and a half or 19 years. I can't count.
I mean, who's been great? Who's fallen apart? Michigan?
Michigan ain't been good 18 and a half, 19 years, though.
Yeah.
No. All right, Rob, let's get a guess in, man.
I like your Ryan Day pick.
You like Ryan Day?
Yeah.
All right,
you guys are close. Roll it.
This place.
We should have said it,
18 and a half years or 19. I can't do the math real good, but and so
I thought him saying I can't do the math real good would be the tell.
Most
I
people
thought that was
going to
be the
and as soon as
give it away.
We said Gundy. We should have rolled with Gundy, Rob.
They fall apart and they panic.
Man.
And then they want to point the finger and blame other people. That you see it happen in everyday life. People do it all the time. That's why I refuse to watch the TV and watch the news because I get tired of people complaining.
See,
and
if you had
bitching
that
about
part
this and
in
that
there,
versus
I
just doing
refuse
It was
to
too
watch the
long.
news.
This whole thing, this rant goes forever. But we do have a follow up to this. This was on his press conference, and a day later, he put this out on Twitter. I apologize to those who my comments during Monday's media call offended. My intent was not to offend any of our fans who've supported us in this program through the years.
Even if you can't pay your bills.
Yeah. Even if you're gonna blame other
Oklahoma
people.
State, 0-7 in Big 12 play.
Yeah, they're really bad this year.
0-7. This was a team near the top 10 preseason, I think.
Their fans are very upset about it because I end up digging around in Twitter to find these quotes and things, and so you'll see the responses to it to each one of these things, and the fans are very upset. They're like he just tried to run it back from last year, didn't go in the transfer portal, bring in NIL money guys or whatever.
Think about what left that conference.
Yeah.
Texas isn't there. Oklahoma isn't there.
Yep.
Missouri and Texas A&M long gone. Colorado, a shell of what it was in Colorado's heyday, and they're 7-1, 7-2. One of those, right? You're Oklahoma State, and you're playing against programs who typically you're supposed to be beating under Gundy, and you're struggling to beat the Kansas States, the TCUs of the world. Are you kidding me? Yeah, the fans should be upset about that.
They've lost 7 in a row too.
Once they started conference play, they started losing.
They beat Arkansas week 2,
and they shouldn't have.
And
they shouldn't have
lost 7 in a row since then. So, all right, that's this week's Who Said It.
All right, good. Who said it this
winding
week?
down. We only have a couple weeks left of the college season, but I'm sure there's going to be plenty of stuff we can dig into the off season, into the postseason, all that stuff. So, all right, let's take one more break. We're going to come back. We're going to get some early lines and start trying to figure out what we're looking at heading into this weekend. You're watching The Odds Couple here on Grind City Media.
At Southland Casino Hotel, it's time to work hard, play hard with our $500,000 giveaway. Earn entries October through November 9th and take home free play and amazing prizes on select Saturdays, including a big rig. Stay connected on social media for weekly drawing clues. Join us November 9th for the grand finale drawing where you could drive off in a four-wheeler, side-by-side, or big rig. Work hard and play harder at Southland Casino Hotel. Must be 21 plus. Play responsibly. For help quitting, call 800-522-4700.
There's no substitute for experience, the knowledge gained from having been there before, and the passion to share what you know to make everyone around you better. It's true in basketball. It's true in banking. Grizzlies Checking from Pinnacle. Play hard. Bank easy. Open a Grizzlies checking account with at least $100 and a recurring direct deposit by August 31st, and you could receive a $200 direct deposit bonus into your account. Details at grizzliesbanking.com. Member FDIC.
Let's face it, there's a lot of trash talk in basketball, but the great teams let their performance do the talking. Like Ford F-150 with Pro Power on board, a class-exclusive industry-first feature that turns your truck into a mobile generator and leaves the competition speechless. Ford F-150, official truck of the Grizzlies. Greatness starts here at your Mid-South Ford dealer. Class is full-size pickups under 8,500 pounds, GVWR.
Grizzlies fans know it's the team that gives you the edge. Big River Steel does too. And much like the Grizzlies have recruited legendary talent, we want you to be part of our team. Are you ready to be part of something legendary? Then visit www.bigriversteel.com. That's www.bigriversteel.com.
Welcome back to The Odds Couple on YouTube at Grind City Media and the official Grind City Media app. Here's Rob Fisher and Lang Whitaker.
Welcome back to The Odds Couple here on Grind City Media. I'm Lang Whitaker. CJ Hertz here. Rob Fisher's in California, and we're about to finish off this cerebral Odds Couple, the Monday edition. And we're going to look ahead to this weekend, see what's going on. I know that we got Tuesday and Wednesday games. Can we look at some of those early schedule lines and that kind of thing?
Yeah, I'm going to give you a couple free picks for Tuesday and Wednesday.
Do it.
Tuesday, we're going Ball State plus the 6.5. They're 10-1 against the spread. Their last 11 against MAC opponents. So we'll take Ball State. And then on Wednesday, Miami of Ohio minus the 30.5 against Kent State. Kent is 3-14-1 against the spread in their last 18 games. So Ball State, Miami of Ohio, your two free Tuesday, Wednesday picks.
All right. I like that, Rob.
Yeah.
Thursday night, we just get East Carolina, Tulsa. Friday, we know the Friday dogs have been a big thing.
Friday dogs are a big deal.
Friday night dogs are a big deal. We got Wyoming's a dog Friday night. North Texas is a dog on Friday night. They scored a lot of points in games this year. Washington is a favorite. No, UCLA is a dog. That's kind of interesting too. They were
a dog last week and won straight up.
Yeah, they've been pretty good the last few weeks. And then Houston, Arizona. Arizona's favorite. Houston would be the dog in that game. So, can we do a parlay of like all those, or like maybe? No, you don't want to do parlay because somebody's not going to cover. But if you bet all of them, one of them's going to hit. You would assume.
At least.
Not a lot of like marquee matchups this weekend. I don't think Clemson, Pittsburgh is this weekend.
Marquee is not a lot of marquee matchups this weekend, but very
Tennessee, Georgia is the
very
big one.
important games popping off this weekend. You brought up Clemson, Pitt, Tennessee, Georgia. Isn't Indiana, Ohio State this weekend?
I don't think it's this weekend. Maybe it is. Let me look. I thought it was next week.
Okay. Like it's some important games as it pertains to where you are in not just your conference
Indiana's
race,
off this week,
but the college football playoff race also.
Yeah,
it's a lot of those types of matchups.
You got your eye on anything, Fish?
Does the Tennessee Georgia line does that surprise you that it's that big?
I didn't even look what it is.
The
9? Yes, that surprises me.
9 Georgia's way.
Yeah, I would bet Tennessee.
How much of that line do you think is influenced by Nico?
Yeah,
maybe
well,
not
that's
playing?
the question: is Nico going to play or not? And he got knocked out of the game this week. There's talk about maybe he will, maybe he won't. I don't know. Georgia knocked Jackson Dart out of that game, and the backup came in and went right down the field and scored a touchdown. And I was like, oh boy, here we go. So I don't know. I guess Nico's that much better than the backup there, but I'm more concerned with the way Georgia looked against.
How does Georgia do against the run, in your opinion? Just from, I know what the stats say, but watching them as often as you have this season.
They don't do well against mobile quarterbacks, but usually like a defensive line, linebackers, they're solid. They'll do okay.
Because that's what this Tennessee offense is predicated on this year. It's all about what Sampson can do running the ball for the Volunteers. And if Georgia can find a way to slow that down some, I think you can put Tennessee's offense and Josh Heupel in real uncomfortable positions where they have to throw the ball.
In Athens. Georgia's kind of fighting for their lives right now.
Also, Tennessee struggles in the red zone. They can get to the red zone. Yeah. They'll get there. But unless they get inside the 10, they're like 92% touchdown rate scoring from inside the 10. But inside the 20, just red zone, they don't get a lot of touchdowns. It's a lot of holding penalties, false starts, negative plays that end up moving them back, and then Tennessee has to settle for field goals.
Tennessee had those 3 games that were real high scoring at the start of the year. But since then, they've scored 23, 24, 28, and they had 33 against Miss State. So, I don't know. I'm stay away from Georgia. I stay away from Memphis. 2 lessons I've learned doing the show the last 6 years with you guys is stay away from those guys.
Yeah, stay away from Georgia the past 3 years. Now, hold on. Georgia was the money team.
I wasn't betting on them. I never had them in my picks.
But the homie Rosa was killing Georgia in the first half.
Yeah. Memphis plays UAB this weekend.
Yeah,
Battle for the bones.
Big battle for the bones. That's right.
That's right, yeah.
Memphis, a big favorite, 15 against UAB. That total at 62.5. UAB has won 10 of the last 14 matchups against Memphis, but this UAB team they're bad. They're really bad. There's no excuse for Memphis this week. None.
Yeah, no, there isn't.
They always have an excuse.
You can say UAB is bad, but when you're a team like Memphis who plays to the level of your competition, it doesn't really matter how good or bad said team is.
That's true.
Memphis is going to find that level and play down to it.
I'm betting Memphis this week, man, and I'm not looking back.
I think I'm taking UAB to cover.
I am not betting UAB.
And I'm going to hit that over also. I think the over is a play.
Coached by Trent Dilfer.
Yeah.
And they've been a mess this year.
Lipscomb.
I'm staying away from UAB.
Yeah, a mess. Absolute mess.
If anything, I would take Memphis, but whatever. Fish, go take your shoes off. Go take a walk out on the beach outside your room.
Planning on it. Who you got Monday Night Football tonight?
Oh, I've heard. Who is it tonight?
Rams,
Dolphins. And the Dolphins have to win because every other Florida team lost this weekend.
With some good stuff.
It'd be the first time ever every team in Florida lost in one weekend.
Think about what that means. That means the Bucs lost.
It's like 10 teams.
The Jaguars lost. Florida State lost. Florida National. Florida
Gators,
Atlantic lost. Miami lost. Florida lost. Central Florida lost. Bethune-Cookman lost. Stetson lost. FAMU lost.
Yeah.
Good Lord.
Man.
It's a lot of losses.
Yeah, I'm taking the Rams tonight, despite the fact the Dolphins have won 11 of 12 against the Rams. How about that?
Yeah.
Do we know Tyreek's status?
I do not. I know Tua's status, which is tenuous, so I would not bet on the Dolphins. Fish, when you're on the beach, if you see 2 sets of footprints, when you see 2 sets of footprints, that's when I was walking alongside you. When you only see 1 set of footprints, that's when I was carrying you.
Oh, man, that's beautiful stuff, Lane. I'll remember that when I get out.
Remember that when you're on the beach.
Lane
I'll
is
take
Jesus
I'll
all
take
of
a picture of it.
Take a picture of the 1 set of footprints. That's me carrying you. All right. Fish, enjoy it out there. Go Grizz. Hopefully get a win against the Lakers on Wednesday night. CJ,
That's
appreciate you being here and appreciate you guys for watching, hanging out with us. We'll be back on Thursday, 2 o'clock. Big studio, big show. Everyone will be there. And we'll see you then. You're watching The Odds Couple here on Grind City Media.